What it do? Three Dudes podcast coming at you. It's just Joe and I today, as you can tell. I'm hoping Aaron will join a little bit later. We'll see. Um, week one in the books. I thought this would be a fun get together. Unfortunately, I couldn't get anybody else on the podcast, so you get a reoccurrence of Joe. Which nothing against you, Joe. I love you. Nobody else responded.
Yeah, no
Uh, I was honestly, I was just personal opinion. I was kind of hoping to get Brandon on here, talk a little
Yeah.
smack after my week one victory.
That's a good. You got another loser on your today. It's okay.
Yeah, but I don't. I mean, I can talk smack to you, but it's not as fun as like, hey, I beat you. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
But anyway, so still good to have you on here. Hopefully, like I said, Aaron will get to join. If not, he already said he was buying a car. Who knows how long that's going to take? And I didn't want to hold this out much longer.
Totally.
Today's just going to be a fun recap of our week one league, right? Like talk a little smack about everybody's team, talk about your team, talk about free agency, how Fab went, how our waiver claims went. We will start the show with a little bit of, actual NFL news, right? Because
cool.
We're still a fantasy podcast.
Yeah.
It's still fun to talk about that stuff. So we are going to start off right there, right? So news and updates. So obviously we haven't met since we had our draft, which was a little over a week and a couple days ago. So, we had our Thursday night game. We had Friday night games. We had Sunday night games, or Sunday and all day and Sunday night, and then Monday night games. So we've had a lot of things happen between when we filmed our last show and this one. So I thought it'd be fun to just touch on all the stuff that happened, right? So at the bottom here, I just have some of the highlights, nothing crazy. I'm not going to get into like all of the little nuances. We can talk about the nuances with our team and some of the other stuff we're seeing, but let's first start with Tank Bigsby traded, to the Philadelphia Eagles. I thought that was pretty big.
I would agree. Yeah. I mean, you take potentially the number 2 running back from Jacksonville's offense, and then he goes to Philadelphia's offense. So you kind of wonder what kind of value is he going to have now that he's behind Saquon compared to Travis Etienne, where maybe like literally probably a week and a half ago when we were doing the podcast last week, we were talking about, well, Tank Bigsby might be the starting running back here in Jacksonville in a few weeks. And going from that to, well, he's probably your bench stash now. It's like, well, what do you do?
Well, so I thought it was two things that were important. Will Shipley broke some ribs in the game on Sunday, on Thursday. So obviously it says a little bit more about the Eagles are like, hey, we need to get a backup. It also kind of says that Jacksonville believes in Travis Etienne. And all the other big podcasts were talking about getting Tootin after, right? So he was already picked up in our league. Sarah drafted him, which, sometimes that's fantastic. I think that just means Tootin actually has value now. And Bigsby's probably a big pickup if you are the Saquon Barkley owner. Because if he goes down, Philadelphia's traded for him, you want Bigsby. But other than that, I don't think it has huge fantasy impact, except for it just clears up Jacksonville's.
It clears up Jacksonville's backfield, and then it gives you, if you, for some reason, if you manage to draft Saquon and then Tank Bigsby just to have as a bench stash, it's like, well, you have his handcuff now. So,
next thing we had was Judkins signed. Now he does have 2 weeks of the NFL granted Cleveland 2 weeks of, warm up essentially. So he was supposed to practice today, but I guess he ended up in New York going over whatever his case was. So, I didn't want to get too into it on that part. But Judkins signing, Terrence drafted him in our league. He was one of the higher waiver wire priorities. He probably has huge upside later in the season. He's I have to hold. So nothing big there. It probably just means Dylan Sampson doesn't have as much staying value as we'd hoped.
Well, no, because I mean, if you take a look at last week, Cleveland couldn't really run the ball, and the way that Sampson got his points was through the passing game. So I'm like, I don't think like his value is going to be okay for now until I think Judkins actually just gets on the field.
Yeah, and Sampson could still carve out a really big role as a third down back. it seems like Joe Flacco trusts him, and
Yeah.
they can get the ball out of his hands pretty quick. So I still think even when Judkins comes back, Sampson has a role. It's probably just not big.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Drake London and Darnell Mooney did practice. So Darnell Mooney missed the game on Sunday. Drake London obviously got hurt, but they were back at practice today. So good signs.
Yeah.
Not much more to report out of that. If Drake London and Mooney didn't go again, I thought it had big upside for Kyle Pitts.
Yep.
With them coming back, great sign for Drake London. Might be limited a little bit more, but it didn't sound like it was too serious. And Mooney's still there's going to be a warm up. He's missed a lot of practice and a lot of mini camp and OTAs and all that other fun stuff. So it's just good to see. It's always good to see people coming back to practice.
Yeah, and like you never want anybody to get hurt, especially in fantasy. Like your studs, Drake London was first round pick, so but I'm like, you never really want to see your studs get hurt. You want them to be healthy as can be.
Yep. Christian Watson, he got paid. Found that interesting. It was 13 plus million for 1 year, so it was a 1 year extension. Didn't hate it. I just found it weird. I don't know what that means, to be honest. It could mean they really like Christian Watson. It could mean they just, hey, we'll give you a chance and we'll see how it goes.
Well, I mean, when he hasn't been hurt, I don't remember the exact number of targets, but I know he was a big red zone target for that offense. So maybe if he can stay healthy, maybe he can claim that role again. I don't know, but I can see the vision why they would sign it for 1 year. So on the off chance that it doesn't work out.
Yeah, I forget last year we were talking about that, and I don't remember the stat, but I remember it being some absurd stat where Christian Watson had like 85% of the red zone targets or something. So Kittle got put on the IR. Sucks for me. I mean, Kittle was my tight end. I drafted in the 3rd round. Sucks for everybody who had Kittle, right? But on the flip side of that, this start of the fantasy season, tight end seems like there's a lot more options than we initially had planned. So my biggest thing was I wanted to go late, great or late. So I either wanted an early tight end or I wanted to be one of the last people drafted them. It kind of seems like late was the option. The highest scoring tight end was Jawan Johnson.
Who was undrafted?
Not even drafted. Yeah. And granted, those games are going to happen, but Brock Bowers was looking great until he got hurt in the 4th quarter. Trey McBride had a solid game. Again, all players that we thought were going to be great. And Kittle had 12.5 points before he got injured. But, a bunch of players had around that. So Kittle getting hurt sucks, and it really hurts those managers who drafted him, like myself. But I think we're going to be a little bit okay if you can figure out who that tight end is going to be every week. I think there's going to be lots of players on the waiver wire, and we can talk about our league when we get there. But yeah, I felt like Kittle going on IR was a big one. But it also combined with the Purdy injury. So Kyle Shanahan came out and said that he's not likely to play week 2, and he could miss multiple weeks. So with Purdy being hurt, Kittle already out, I mean, it could mean Christian McCaffrey to the moon. But it does, I think, hurt their offense overall. I think it kind of hurts Pearsall. Not a ton, but I think you have to bring values down a little bit, because I think even McCaffrey after week 1, I was like, dang, if he's going to get that many touches, he's number 1 by far. I don't think the offense moves as well if Purdy's out.
Well, no, because I mean, yes, the focal point of the offense is Christian McCaffrey, but at the same time, like he can't be running every single play for you. And like, that's why you have the receivers, and why Purdy was able to run the offense the way that they want to run the offense. I'm like, with Mac Jones, I'm like, we don't know. I'm like, this is his 3rd team that he's been on. So we don't really know what chemistry he has with the offense. So I'm like, I agree with you that the value of the wide receivers, specifically Pearsall, because I know Mike and I have him, like his value is going to go down a little bit.
I think we do have to remember Mac Jones make Brian Thomas Jr. look amazing. So
this is true.
Whoever that receiver he locks in on is going to get targeted. Jawan Jennings got hurt in that game, but he sounds like he missed any serious injury. So I think overall it could be okay. Honestly, I know that sounds weird. It's
Yeah.
just going to be whoever he picks, right? Is it Jawan Jennings? Is it just going to be check downs to Christian McCaffrey, or is it Pearsall? Who's that guy for him? So while I think it hurts, I just believe in Shanahan.
Yeah.
To make a play, to get his guys open. So it hurts them, but we're talking, okay, maybe it moves Pearsall from your 26th ranked wide receiver to your 28th. You know, it's not.
Yeah, not very far. Like I wouldn't just drop him from, like, he's still, like, from us, he's still gonna be like our wide receiver 3, our flex play. So
Exactly. Yeah, you're not moving him off your roster
Nope.
unless you killed it, you know, and he's your
Yeah.
5th wide receiver. And that's not happening in our league. And
No.
our league is small at 10 teams. It's not going to be any better. My guillotine leagues, all those other ones, Pearsall is still starting for me. Last but not least, Xavier Worthy.
Yes.
Still don't have an update.
Which can be a little concerning. Yeah.
Yeah. The news is, it still sounds like speculation. I'm not going to pretend to report on it. I didn't see any updates before this started. It sounds like he dislocated his shoulder. I heard another fantasy analyst talking about this, and it kind of raised a little fear in my heart. Because when they said this, I was like, I didn't think about that, but it is what the Chiefs has done in the past. They said that they're going to see if they can get him to recover without surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what they said about Hollywood Brown last year. And he took 13 weeks to get back into the lineup. So what does that mean? Now, granted, who knows? Xavier Worthy dislocated his shoulder, and maybe he's out 3 weeks, which is what most speculative doctors on the internet, they're doctors on the internet. They don't actually have access to this man. But
right.
We'll say, yeah, this is what they say. I'm not a medical professional. But again, that point was valid, right? Like,
yeah.
Hollywood Brown did something similar last year and was out 13 weeks before he came back. And what does Xavier Worthy look like? And by the time he comes back, is Rashee Rice going to be back in the action, and Travis Kelce's getting all these looks, and maybe Hollywood Brown looks amazing, and Xavier Worthy just doesn't live up to what we drafted him at?
Yep. And you have to take all those into consideration. I mean, look at all the targets that Hollywood Brown had after he got hurt.
Yeah, but he got hurt so early in the game. Who knows? Maybe he would have had 14 targets or 16 targets anyways, but I doubt it.
Right. Yeah.
That's really all the news that we're going to talk about. There's little things, and everybody has their information we get into. We have a few little other injury updates we'll talk about, but I wanted to get to those a little later in the show, so we'll get there when we get there. So what we're going to do next is we're going to get into our week 1 recap, right? So 10-team league, 5 matchups, right? You unfortunately lost. You played JJ. JJ, his team dominated. It was the highest scoring team this week. So, what are you going to do? Sometimes you go against a buzzsaw and the buzzsaw wins. We'll get into my matchup and we'll go through everybody else's. We'll just kind of touch on all of them. I thought it'd be a little fun. Like I said, if we had Brandon here, I was going to poke fun at him a little bit. And I'll still do it when we get to my matchup, because you and I have that relationship with him that I think it'll be a little bit of, we can tease him a little bit. But let's start with your matchup. So I did want to just start. So right at the bottom here, you can see the Bauer Rangers, which is JJ. I did want to put the names of our teams because I thought this year everybody came up with great team names, and I just kind of wanted to highlight them. The Bauer Rangers, 171.42 versus the Maserati Marvs, 132.78. So go ahead and just kind of start us off,
Sure.
What did you feel? All that other stuff. So again, JJ's buzzsaw team, but I kind of want to hear about your team, and I'll touch on his after.
Yeah. I mean, we have Baker Mayfield as our quarterback. He did fantastic for us. Our wide receivers, we have St. Brown, McLaurin, Brian Thomas Jr. Our receivers didn't really have that great of a game, but I was telling Mike about it when we were discussing our receivers. Like with Thomas, I'm not really too worried because like the Jacksonville game had like what, an hour and a half
Yeah.
lightning delay. So I'm like, to have to go back to the locker room and get warmed up again. I'm like, if it affected the entire game.
Mhm.
McLaurin, Debo happened to go off instead of McLaurin. There were times where James Daniels was trying to hit him down the field. I think that's just a little bit of rust. St.
Well,
Brown, I
yeah,
would
he
yeah,
didn't sign until way late. Like you
yeah,
didn't draft him going, oh, he's going to be good week 1.
yeah. St. Brown, I would probably say is a little concerning just because of how the offense of Detroit looked. So it was very surprising. Was not expecting that. Other than that, like our running backs, we had Genty and Hubbard. They did fine. And given that literally my team just stacked the entire line and said, you're not going to run Genty. You have to figure out a way to beat us in different ways, which they did, of course. But I mean, I'm still happy with the numbers there. We were one of the ones that waited till the end to get a tight end. So we ended up drafting Dalton Kincaid. He did pretty solid for us in the Buffalo game, so can't complain there. So, I mean, just the luck of the draw for the week. I'm like, our receivers didn't do well, but to be quite honest, it's not surprising from my perspective. I'm like, we started the season 0-1 for the last 5 years, so it just seems to be a trend for us. So, yeah, and JJ just happened to just destroy us.
Yeah, like your team, Brian Thomas said, like first and
Mhm.
foremost, almost all of the top end wide receivers had bad games.
Yeah.
Right. I want to say 3 total that you drafted in the first 2 rounds that had good weeks. And it was, Puka Nacua had a good week.
Yep.
Drake London had a good week. And that is honestly all I can think of off the top of my head that had good weeks. And
Justin Jefferson.
Oh, Justin Jefferson. Thank you. Other than that, Chase had a terrible week.
Yes.
For Jamar Chase, obviously Amon-Ra, Nico Collins, like those guys that we expect to be like, hey, you're not going to get less than 10. Almost all of them got less than 10. Some of them got less than 5.
Yep.
I don't think that's going to continue.
No.
Because it wasn't injury produced. It was just happened. And a lot of the teams that we saw are teams that rested their starters. So I agree. I don't think it's time to panic on your receivers. Ashton Genty had so much work. He's clearly the number 1 back. Like even if he's as bad as Trent Richardson his rookie year, which would be like terrible, right?
Yeah.
3 yards a carry. That dude still fell into the end zone 14 times. Like there's a reason the next year we still drafted him in the first round. I don't think that'll happen.
I don't know either.
But the other part of a great thing about your team is you guys did draft well, right? You still have Travion Henderson and Breece Hall on the bench, and Bill went off, Corey Krosky-Merritt. So you have trade options. If your receivers aren't doing well, you have 3 fantastic running backs on your bench that you can trade for a good piece. So I agree with you. I wouldn't worry about your team. I felt the exact same way. I didn't think your team was terrible. And at 132, you were like the 5th highest scoring team in the league. It's just unlucky with who you played. Now on the other side, JJ's team went off for the most points in the league. He was projected to be the highest scoring. His team didn't disappoint. In some aspects, I felt like they overperformed. Zay Flowers had a career game. So I don't think he does that every week, right? But JJ drafted him with that hope. T. Higgins had a bad game at 6.3 on JJ's team, but you know what? It doesn't matter when Zay Flowers, James Cook, Christian McCaffrey, and Deebo Samuels all go off for more than 25 points or 20 or more points.
20 more.
He had Brock Bowers sitting there. So I get it. JJ had 1 player in single digits that wasn't a defensive player. Nobody else in the league was close to that. At this stage in the game, JJ is clearly the team to beat. But we thought after we saw him draft, I thought, and we even talked about it.
Yes.
He's got a solid team. Like we didn't expect his team to be bad. And
we didn't.
And it didn't disappoint.
Like we had discussed, like when you had asked me whose team I thought was really good, like JJ totally changed up how he usually goes in on a draft. So, and it showed, and clearly it showed in the first week. So it's like, kudos to him. I'm like, he went with his draft strategy and clearly it's working right now.
Yep. And then JJ just decided he pulled an old JJ. You remember your first year in the league? He took all the tight ends. He did it again. He took Harold Fannin and he took Shawan Johnson off the waivers. He's got Brock Bowers. JJ just believes the way to win is to hoard tight end. So we're good. All right, let's get into our next matchup. So this was the lowest scoring team in Terrence and the lowest scoring winning team in Jacob. 103.52 Bishop Sycamore. And I do love that name because it's still a callback to that Bishop Sycamore high school game that somehow still got on ESPN. And I love that he calls it that. And then Duck in the Storm, which is Terrence. It's a reference to Storm Duck on the Miami Dolphins. Unfortunately, Storm Duck got hurt.
I saw that. Yeah.
He's out probably 2 to 3 weeks.
That's unfortunate.
You know, I'm going to blame Terrence as a Dolphin fan.
Jinxed your team.
Damn it, Terrence. You jinxed our team. Stop drafting Dolphins. You're killing us. Just joking. So kind of a few things that I kind of thought was a surprise just from my perspective. Sure. Obviously we knew Terrence drafted Tyreek Hill. He kept Devon Achane. He went Dolphin heavy. He started Tua this week. Against Indianapolis, I understood the vision.
Yep.
I didn't, as a Dolphin fan, I did not think the Dolphins would be that inept. It was, they looked terrible. Like that, if that team continues to show up, that's an 0-16 team. I don't want any part of the Dolphins on my fantasy team.
Not at all.
Devon Achane saved his fantasy day with that touchdown late on a swing pass from the 11th yard, from the 11-yard line on a 4th and goal. It was just terrible offense.
Yep.
Tyreek Hill went 4 for 40, so got 8 points. Terrence had to start Calvin Ridley. It wasn't a great showing for him. He didn't have a lot of good options. I don't blame him with who he started. AJ Brown had a bad game.
Yep. I
don't think that continues. Saquon Barkley and Devon Achane are 2 total players that can totally carry your team. I love AJ Brown. I love Calvin Ridley. He has Jared Goff. You don't have to start Tua. I don't hate his team. Sam Laporta, DJ Moore, all players I think could have done better. I don't think his team continues to put up 86 points.
I don't either.
On the other side, one of my big surprises was Jacob putting up 103 points. We loved his team.
Yeah.
He had Josh Jacobs and Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, Mike Evans, George Pickens, Tucker Kraft, started Devonta Smith, but on his bench still had James Conner, Jacoby Myers, and David Montgomery. So obviously had a ton of flex options.
Yep.
Honestly, this should be the guy we're all talking to and like, hey, you got some extra players. Can I have one? Especially how, everything kind of worked out. He just got unlucky. Mike Evans had a bad game. And by bad game, I think we have to understand Baker Mayfield threw for like 170 yards.
Yeah.
Emeka Ibuka was just the beneficiary of it. He only had 4 catches for 68 yards. He just had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Mike Evans usually gets those.
Yeah.
So a bad game by Mike Evans standpoints at 10, I don't think that continues.
I don't think that's consistent. I mean, he's going to get his.
Yeah. George Pickens, he had a bad game with 6 points. You're not going to play Philadelphia every week.
Nope.
So whatever, Kyler Murray did exactly, I'm sure, what Jacob hoped, got 22 points, looks fantastic. Justin Jefferson had a terrible first 3 quarters. Sarah was playing against him in another league. She was telling me, I'm going to win. Then, JJ McCarthy was like, hey, I remember, I'll just throw to that guy. Yeah. Kind of saved his game at the last second. Tucker Kraft, 9 points, consistent. That's what you're asking for.
That's what you're trying to get for him.
Yep. Devonta Smith had a bad game. Again, I still like his team.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs. Yeah. I think he's bad week, not necessarily bad team.
Yep.
And I think that's kind of the underlining point with all these games. But here's the beauty of fantasy football right here. Jacob got a win, or if he plays anybody else, he loses.
Yeah. If he plays us, he loses. Yep.
No, anybody else. They were the 2 lowest scoring teams in the league. They literally 9th and 10th played each other. It's the opposite of I was the second highest scoring team and I played the first highest scoring team. No.
Right.
You were the second worst team. You just happened to play the worst team.
The worst team that week. Yeah.
It's the luck we always talk about. I always feel like Brandon has, where I'm just like, how did you
How did
win?
you get here? Yeah.
What happened? Yeah. And you look at it and you're like, oh, you scored 1,800 points and you had 1,300 scored against you. Oh, well, this guy who scored 2,200 points had 2,700 scored against him. Like, of course they didn't make the playoffs. All right. Moving on. So this is my matchup. So this is the Nakua Matatas. So I loved the name. I had to go with it. And then the team name that you and I and Brandon all came up with for him, the Lamar Azards. I thought that I love that name. I thought it was great.
It's a great name.
And I love it because it ties back into that song that we played for him at the draft.
Yep.
So obviously anybody listening to this podcast, if you're in the league, you know it. We played the Pokemon rap for him. If you aren't in the league, now you know. Song, his walk-up song for his draft was the Pokemon rap, and it was awesome. And I love that he leans into it. Brandon has always been one of my favorite, like he'll lean into any joke at his expense. So you know what, mad props.
Well, we love him.
Getting into this game, I'm not going to lie. Brandon had Xavier Worthy, and him getting that 0 points gave me a little like, maybe I can breathe. This game got close though. We were actually gaming at the time when I thought I had lost. So we'll get a little further into it. I had Derrick Henry. He had Lamar Jackson. But he also had DeAndre Swift still to go.
Yep. And
when this game happened, I was up by maybe 20-ish points. But Lamar Jackson and DeAndre Swift can make up for that pretty quick. And all I have left is Derrick Henry. Yep. And I did have Roquan Smith. And it started off great. Derrick Henry just killing it. And then Lamar kind of went off for a little bit. And I just was like, I'm up by 3 points. And like Brandon's got DeAndre Swift. I'm going to lose it. And then Henry had that long run. And that sealed that win because it gave me, I think, like a 17-point lead, and DeAndre Swift didn't do it.
Yes, I remember you losing your mind when when you were doing it. I heard you going off in my headset. So yes.
The side thing that I loved about this is Brandon had messaged, and I believe it was both of us, but it could have just been me, saying that Derrick Henry, who has always been on Brandon's teams, that dude drafts him almost every year. Brandon said he had fallen off. He was too old.
That's right.
And I messaged him and I said, Brandon, that doesn't make sense. He had more yards per carry than Saquon. He just had less carries. He had almost 2,000 yards. I don't think he fell off. I think you're underestimating him. And so the fact that that guy then put the dagger in kind of made me a little happy.
He did it for you.
Yeah, he did it. He did. So from my perspective, it was nice winning. It sucked losing George Kittle again, 3rd round pick. Bo Nix, who even at the draft, everybody made the same comment. Do you not like that pick? My voice dropped significantly when I made the pick. I had no interest in drafting Bo Nix.
I remember this conversation.
But Kyler went right in front of me. Who that was my kind of the quarterback I thought I was going to get. I really thought Jacob was going to take Bo Nix, and then I was just going to take Kyler. He takes Kyler, and I was like, oh, I got to take Bo Nix. So instantaneously, I take Bo Nix, and he sucked so bad. And watching him, I was like, oh, this is why I had no interest in this gentleman at all. Other than that, Nico Collins didn't have a great game, but Puka did. Derrick Henry, obviously. I started Emeka Ibuka. Those were kind of the 3 players that saved me. George Kittle. But the funniest thing for me is my 4th highest scoring player. So, it was Emeka Ibuka, it was Derrick Henry, and it was Puka Nacua. It was Julian Love, the Seahawks safety. He had 10 solo tackles and a sack. So kind of crazy.
IDP matters, sir.
IDP right there. 13 points. I win that game. Brandon's team, obviously he had Xavier Worthy, RJ Harvey. He started, didn't have a great game. DeAndre Swift, who you and I have talked about, he's good for 10. And that's what he got, 9.5. It's the joke I always make about myself on the football field. Hey, you need 10 yards. I'll get you 10. You need 5 yards, I'll get you 10. You need 12 yards, I'll get you 10.
Yep.
I'm consistent. I might not get you 30, but I'll get you
But
10.
I'll get you 10 every time.
And that's what DeAndre Swift does.
30, man.
Yeah. So Brandon, honestly, what killed him, RJ Harvey.
Yeah.
7.9 points. Ladd kind of not getting the same target share. I'm sure Brandon expected more.
Mm-hmm.
That probably hurt. And then Trey McBride just not going off. End of the day, Brandon's team still very solid.
Yep.
He has some high upside players on his bench with Matthew Golden and Colston Loveland.
Yep.
He's just and Cam Ward, who he played, the stats look terrible. I thought he played really well, especially for his first game against Denver. I was like, damn, you did good enough.
Yeah, I agree. I was, when I got home from football on Sunday, I watched that game because that was the game that was on TV, and I'm like, this dude looks legit. And he was going up against Denver's defense is no joke. So the fact that the stats tell a different story. He legit was he put his team in position to win. It's just they dropped the ball off.
They didn't do it. And having one of those quarterbacks, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, those guys can win you weeks. And they almost did there, right? Brandon had Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson almost carried his team to victory.
Yep.
So, Brandon just, again, he's the other side of it. Just got a little unlucky with who he played.
Yep.
All right, moving on. Sarah's staring at me all awkwardly.
Okay.
We're not on your team yet, babe. I'll let you come in and talk when we get there. Next one up is Mahomes Depot 144.22 versus Travis Hunter goes both ways 141.26. So 2 things. Ryan won. Second highest scoring team in the league. I feel a little bad for Robert. This is the luck part again. 3rd highest scoring team in the league.
Yep.
Just got unlucky. He plays anybody but JJ or Ryan. He wins. He beats me by 2 points. He beats you guys by 7. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He beats everyone. Just got unlucky with who he played.
Yep.
Going into this matchup, we had given Ryan a ton of crap.
We did. He has Patrick Mahomes. He's got Joe Burrow, and he has Justin Herbert.
Right, and he started Mahomes, which I was like, really? Looks like a genius now. He doesn't start Mahomes. He loses.
He made us look dumb. So
yeah.
I'm like, we can't say anything.
Right. So he not only is the 2nd highest scoring team, he did that with Jamar Chase scoring 4 points.
Yeah.
Right. So he told me, I pulled him aside separately. I was like, hey, what's going on? He said, I just have a belief in Patrick Mahomes. And I think Travis Kelce's his last year. I wanted him on my team. I said, you know what? I get that. And when we talked about it, that's what we said, right? If you want your guy, you got to get your guy.
You got to get your guy. Yep.
DK Metcalf, he got him 12, right? Didn't have a great game. He did his part. Michael Pittman went off. The Dolphins secondary looked terrible, but I thought it was going to be Josh Downs, and it was Pittman.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Josh Downs too. I was very surprised that it was Pittman. So,
yeah, kudos there. Kyron Williams did his classic, 66 yards and a rushing touchdown.
Yep.
Just the most Kyron Williams stat line ever.
Yep.
Tony Pollard, he was 7.9, nothing fantastic. Travis Kelce, 12. J.K. Dobbins, who I had no thought in my mind would be the lead rusher by that big of a margin.
Yeah.
14.8, 63 rushing yards and a touch. I was just like, okay, I did not believe, and I was wrong. The other thing he did, though, is he grabbed Myles Garrett early. Myles Garrett had those 2 sacks back to back and then 4 tackles for Myles Garrett
11 points. Yeah.
Got him 11 points, and Kyle Hamilton got him 11.5.
11.5.
IDP matters, right?
IDP does matter.
I punt on it every year, and this is the example why IDP is important. Because if you look at Ryan's bench, the only player he had on his bench that might have helped him more is Justin Herbert.
Yeah. It's Justin Herbert at 33. So yeah,
but the other side of that is I never want to be Ryan. Right? I never want to be am I starting Eli? Okay, so I'm just going to give my example.
Yeah.
I had the year Adrian Peterson came back from his knee injury and had his 2,000-yard season.
Yeah.
Okay. I went running back. I think I went Matt Forte, Jamal Charles, Adrian Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
So I had 3 stud running backs, but I punted on quarterback and I went Eli Manning and Tony Romo. And I'll never forget this. I lost to Ed that year because I started Tony Romo over Eli Manning because every week I was playing the quarterback roulette.
Yep.
And I hated it every week. Like, I don't know who to start. And I started the wrong
sucks.
guy. And I lost by 2 points on Tony Romo throwing a pick at the last second. I was like, oh, I hate you so much, Tony.
I know, I've been there. When our
So-
dynasty league, I had rotating quarterbacks too. It is not a fun game. It is not a fun game to play.
It's, you know, it sucks to be him. It's just, honestly, you have
It's
my
tough.
fifth and sixth rated quarterback, and he believes in Justin Herbert. He even told me, I was like, why would you take Herbert after you took the other two? He's like, I think Justin Herbert's gonna have a big year. And then he goes off for 30 points, and I was like, shoot, I didn't think he was gonna be that good. Like,
Well, you won't hear any bias. He was available. If you won't hear any bias from me, I love Herbie. So I'm like,
on the other side of this, you know, Robert I loved his draft when he came out, and he looked solid. 42 from Josh. Josh Allen putting up 42. Josh Allen can win you weeks, and he almost did it here, right?
Yep.
Honestly, the reason he lost is he started Jake Ferguson over Tyler Warren.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it.
You know, he drafted Tyler Warren with conviction. I thought he would have started him. He went with Jake Ferguson. Omarion Hampton, I loved him. You know this. I have him in almost every other league I'm in. He was one of my favorites. Didn't have a great game. I don't think that continues. Bucky Irving with 14.5, great keeper. Drake London, 13.5. Roma Dunze, like Roma Dunze's the guy there.
Yep.
Marvin Harrison still had a great week. He started Tyrone Tracy, which I don't blame him. I would have done the same. I love Tyrone Tracy. I wanted him.
Yep.
And he's got Javonte Williams on his bench, Jaden Reed, Dylan Sampson, you know, Tyler Warren. I loved his team. So I was like, he's fine. Like,
yeah.
He picks any one of those players from his bench and puts him in his waiver. He wins.
Yeah. I'm like, Rob's got a great team. So
again, another solid team where I'm like, okay, well, you just got unlucky. All right. Last, but certainly not least, is Aaron's team. So we have your mom digs my Penix, which, you know what? He drafted Michael Penix for this teammate, and then you have Sarah with Waddle over to my neighbors. Now, obviously, I have this score wrong because this is not the score. This would have been a tie.
That would have been interesting if we had that, though.
Let me fix that real quick. It is 120.58. My apologies on that one. Here's Sarah. She wants to show everybody her beautiful face. So Aaron kind of snuck this out, you know?
Yeah.
So because we have Sarah here, we can look at her and ask her a question.
Sure.
Yeah, my camera moves when you're there. So Sarah was debating all week if she should start Chris Olave, and she eventually sat him. She did it for Jaylen Warren, so it ended up being the right move. But Jalen Waddle had such a bad game that if she starts him, Olave over Waddle, she wins the game.
Yep.
Which, but who would have ever thought that would have been the answer?
My team forgot that it was football day.
Like your actual football team?
They forgot. They didn't realize that it was like the actual season. Yeah. I think they thought they were in preseason still.
Could be the case.
Yeah. So Sarah has a few players that you and I loved starting the season in Isaiah Pacheco.
Yep.
He's still sleeping in.
Isaiah Pacheco, I'm not sure what it looks like. That was just, I don't know if it was game script got away or whatever it was.
Maybe he had butterflies.
Maybe. Isaiah Pacheco did not look good. I don't think that continues.
I hope not.
It felt like that game in particular, the Chiefs got down early. So they got away from the run instantly.
Mm-hmm.
But again, Isaiah Pacheco, I mean, you and I were fighting over him in a ton of leagues, and Sarah took him here. So, I think you have brighter days ahead. But looking at your team, you kind of hope so, because you have a bunch of players on your team that you're hoping are good. And Tootin and Warren's pretty good, but you don't really have that extra pop. I'm sure you kind of agree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who you picked up off of waivers today.
You know, I'm sorry, the camera's being weird. Okay.
I'd have to look at the league.
I picked up some people.
I think
I can look.
I have it right here.
Oh, that's good.
I
picked up available people.
That's good. At least you didn't pick up anybody that was
no, I don't think
unavailable.
you didn't make any waiver moves. It says
I thought I did.
no.
Did you put claims in and maybe somebody took them?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think she put in claims but didn't get anybody. So
maybe
Sarah.
But I said I would pay dollars.
Yeah.
Well,
not enough dollars.
Yeah, it must not have been. So Sarah will probably just have to make a few more waiver moves. Obviously, her teacher brain did not get her where she was going. On the other side of this, looking at Aaron's team, we thought he had a good team. Dak and CD, while having not fantastic games, CD did good. He had 18, but Dak had 8, and I don't think that continues.
No, and you got to take into account CD dropped 4 balls.
Yeah, and two of them
probably for touchdowns.
Right. No, granted, they were both on the same drive, so it would have only accounted for one touchdown. Yeah. But yes. JSN had a huge game. Cortland Sutton, who I loved, even though Bo Nix looked terrible, Cortland Sutton's going to get his touches. Alvin Kamara and Chase Brown. Alvin Kamara actually concerned me a little bit. You remember? I remember we talked about this.
Yes.
My concern with Alvin Kamara is every time Kellen Moore has gone to a new offense, he takes away passes from the running back. And we saw it again. He only had 2 catches. And the reason he saved his day was that touchdown. Without that touchdown, he gets 7 points.
Yep.
So I'm still I'm still a little concerned with him. Chase Brown, clearly, he's RB1 there.
Yeah.
I was honestly surprised after Mark Andrews' game that Aaron was not one of the ones who put in a waiver claim for
a tight end.
He
doesn't have them. Yeah.
When we get into it a little further, you'll see why. I'll talk about my waiver transactions, but this was again one of those games. It could have gone either way. It just looked okay. It's one of those games where I think both these teams have a few waiver claims to make, but also have solid teams. Sarah, I made fun of Sarah when she made the Garrett Wilson pick, and Garrett Wilson looked fantastic.
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors had a bad game with 12 points. I do not think that continues.
That does not continue, especially if they think of starting Jackson Dart now.
Shows up next week.
Yeah, so if Garrett Wilson continues, you did do great. If Garrett Wilson continues with Malik Neighbors, Jalen Hurts, those 3 alone are fantastic. You still have Jahmyr Gibbs. Yep. Honestly, you're just trying to figure out RB2, wide receiver 3, and then your flex.
I need to take a class on how to pick up waivers,
I guess. Chris Olave, though, actually didn't look terrible. He got injured, but
he looked fine until he got hurt. So.
Yeah.
I think they'll show up next week.
Sarah believes in her team, is what she's saying.
You should.
All right.
Sarah.
I'm a believer.
Joe says your team's crap.
Hey, Joe.
I did not say that.
He did not say that.
Don't be mean to me.
He said you should.
Why would I say it's crap when we
I'm
lost?
I'm a believer.
You're a believer. You're like the Smash Mouth song.
Yeah. I'm a believer.
All right. So we'll get into our next thing. This is going a little longer than I thought, but that's fine. Okay. We're having a good time.
Yep.
So last but not least, so we had a lot of offers in the league. Not a lot of offers. Let me rephrase that. We had a lot of movement, but we only had 4 players get bid on or have moves on where other people also put in bids. So we'll start with Tajay Spears. JJ put in one and you guys got him. Obviously, you're just stashing him on your IR.
Yep.
Didn't hate it, understood it. JJ was the only other person who put one in. Since JJ won, it does default to rankings. JJ lost. But that was both of you put in $0 bids.
Yep.
Next one was Hollywood Brown. You put in a $0 bid. I put in a $14 bid. But the winner at $25 was Robert. So while I do believe in him, 16 targets is insane. Like, you have to believe that that's like number one receiver on an amazing offense. The reason I didn't want to go more than 15% of my budget and I went at 14, purely my perspective, is once Rashee Rice comes back, I don't know if he's going to continue. I don't know if having him for 5 weeks is worth 25% of my budget.
I can see your point there. I would probably follow that with, yes, Rashee Rice comes back week 7, week 7, I believe.
Yeah, week 7.
Back. The Chiefs go on by what, week 10?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know what he's going to do those first 3 games. They might lessen his workload, and then after the bye week, ramp it up. So we don't know. I mean, at that point, depending on what Hollywood Brown is doing, if he's still the number 1 there and getting the kind of production that he got in week 1, I can see it being a good value. But again, I like to look at it from the other side of it.
Oh, for sure. No. I don't think I put in an offer, right? Like,
oh yeah.
I just didn't think he was worth that much of my fab.
No, and that's right. But I see.
But I can see why he did.
I can see your point, but I can also see the other point of why you put that much into it.
And so the next player is you put in an offer of $0. Robert put in a $6 offer. JJ put in a $7 offer, and then I won. It was Keenan Allen. I put in a $12 offer.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I saw Keenan Allen and Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown has bigger the next 5 week potential. Keenan Allen has staying flex potential. So while I think Hollywood Brown could literally win you weeks for the next few weeks, right? 16 targets. If he catches 12 of them and gets 112 yards, that is a 23-point game. And if he falls into the end zone, we're talking 30 points. That's massive. Yep. I thought Keenan Allen having 10 targets, which is more than Ladd McConkey. He had 6 catches and 78 yards and a touchdown, or 6 catches and 62 yards, or 7 catches and something around that.
Yep.
I thought that was more telling.
Yeah.
He's only been there a month, and Justin Herbert's already back in rhythm with him.
Yep.
It's why I said, okay, I will take him. Again, do not believe he is as impactful as Hollywood Brown. Why I put a bigger offer in Hollywood Brown. I was happy to win him at 12. Again, another player that if I would have lost, I would have been disappointed, but I wasn't going to put in more money to win.
I agree with the value there.
Yeah, it was. I just want to have a chance at a flex. I have upside in Keon Coleman and Jameson Williams and Emeka Egbuka. Hey, let's get consistency.
Yeah.
I just need a floor. Next player. So this one was interesting. Harold Fannin, because I lost George Kittle. Well, let's get into it. So you guys put in a $0 offer because you're like, I'll put in an offer. Nobody can get them for free, is what you guys said.
We always do. We're not going to let you have them for free.
I put in a $10 offer.
Yep.
And JJ put in the winning bid of 17. Now, not joking. This literally happened after I got home from basketball last night. I sat down on the couch. I had an $18 offer in on him. And I thought about it. And I said, I don't have a time to hope he continues to do that.
Right.
I think he will be good, but when?
Right.
And I can't sit here for 4 weeks hoping that he hits every week. JJ can, because he is Brock Bowers. I cannot. So I would have won, and I think I would have been disappointed. It's why I moved the offer down to 10. I said, if I win him for 10, I'm good. I cannot risk almost 20% of my budget on a player that might hit in a week or two, or he continues to hit and I look like an idiot. I could sit here next week and be like, damn, I should have put in a bigger offer.
You should have put the bet in, yeah.
But I didn't want to play that game, and I didn't want to roster because if I got Fannin, I was going to pick up another tight end just like JJ did. And I didn't want to have to drop a ton of players for him.
Yep.
So, which led me to my next kind of biggest disappointment.
Yep.
It sucked so bad. 2 reasons. Nobody put it up. Dallas Goedert was just sitting there on the waiver wire.
Yeah.
Okay. Evan Ingram got hurt. TJ Hawkinson kind of got dinged up and didn't look fantastic. I have George Kittle. He goes down. Brock Bowers is still a little injured. And Aaron's tight end, and it's it's blanking. I can't think of it right now. Who did Aaron have that we were like, oh, I was surprised he didn't put in a waiver claim?
I'm thinking, sorry.
It doesn't matter, but we had just mentioned him, right? He said, okay, Dallas Goedert is a solid floor guy. I don't need you to be fantastic. I just need you to be good. I thought, okay, I need to put in an $11 bid, like just a little bit more than Fannin for consistency. Nobody else bid on him. Then the news comes out that he hurt his knee and he's probably not going to play week 2. I literally dropped him earlier. I was like, what? I could have just thrown the $11 and been like, here's $11. You want to send a trade to me?
We could just know what we did. Just throw a $0 bid and get him for free.
Well, if I would have known Juwan Johnson was going to go for 0, I would have put in a $1 bid for him. What the hell? Yeah, I'm disappointed in that aspect. So I picked up Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Juwan Johnson's gone. Harold Fannin is gone. Dallas Goedert, I'm not sure if he's going to play week 2. Kyle Pitts. I picked him up before the Drake London and Darnell Mooney stuff had come out, but
yeah,
whatever. I still don't believe he's going to be great. I'm just hoping he's okay.
I mean, he did fine last week. It wasn't anything to like, oh my God, he's back or about, but he put up points.
Yeah. And there's still some tight ends I like on the waiver wire. Like Brenton Strange is out there. I don't hate him. People carrying all these tight ends, I think they're going to have to start dropping them. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of my point is, okay, JJ has 3 tight ends. Is he going to hold 3 tight ends the whole time? Maybe.
Probably not.
But probably not. The guy who drafted, I don't know who is David Njoku. Who is it? Oh, Ryan. Ryan has 3 quarterbacks and 2 tight ends. Like at a certain point, he's going to have to drop something to pick up other players. I'm like, there's no way this continues. So I know there's going to be like waiver wire drops here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm streaming tight end until Kittle comes back. Like I don't need to, if somebody picks up Brenton Strange tomorrow, okay, cool. Like I'll pick up Hunter Henry. I don't care. I just need to look at good matchups.
Yep.
So that was my perspective, but it was disappointing to spend $11 on a player nobody bid on, and then to instantly drop him because he's not going to play week 2. Yeah, I was like, I just sat there. I literally, after I saw that news, I was like, what a waste of $11. Like,
yeah,
I could have spent $1 on Juwan Johnson and probably been so much happier.
Mm-hmm.
That was my.
It happens. It's the world of fantasy. What do you expect?
That's where fantasy. I'm like, I hate fantasy. Like this sucks. But it's also why I love that they post it, because like being on the other side of it, you're like, damn it. You guys got Quinton Judkins. I was surprised nobody put in a waiver for him at all. Quentin Johnston. Yes. Nobody put in a waiver. You guys just got him for free.
Yeah. So as I know you've been mentioning that we've put $0 bids. We bid on 6 different players with $0 bids because we figured, well, we had a player on our roster that we didn't really felt like we needed anymore. So let's just replace that player with somebody with potential. So that's why we put a bid on Keenan Allen. We put a bid on Quinton Johnson. Mike was very high on him because he thinks he has a little bit more upside than Keenan Allen does. But then, like you mentioned, the tight ends, we had Dalton Kincaid, so we figured we might as well just have a second tight end just on the off chance. So, but they got picked up. So,
you dropped Jaden Blue. That's funny. Yeah, I'm not a huge Quentin Johnston fan. I don't. It feels the exact same way as Kyle Pitts. Like every year, it feels like this is the year, and then every year it's like, oh, you got hurt. It's why I didn't put in a waiver claim for him, because I wanted Keenan Allen. But I wanted, from my perspective, just a consistent player. Like
totally.
I have enough high upside players. I need somebody who has a floor. I also did go ahead and pick up Justin Fields.
I did see that, yes.
I did have to make a drop of a player I really don't want to drop. I still think could be good in Luther Burden. But he didn't. He had 1 target. He had 1 catch for -3 yards. So the one time they threw him the ball was 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. I was like, okay, you're not going to help me instantly, and I needed a
And you
quarterback
need
that I
help.
believed in.
Yeah, you need help now, which is okay. I mean, we'll
Yeah.
pick him up and he can be on our roster with all of our young players.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, that one hurt a little bit because I hate dropping players I believe in. I
Yeah.
still believe Luther Burden could be good. I just didn't have the roster spot.
No, and that's going to be the case sometimes where, like, your situation, you had Kittle who's hurt, and then your quarterback situation you're not solid on. So it's like, I need to have somebody now. I hate to lose a roster spot, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do to fill in your roster to make sure that you can win games.
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of why I think like Ryan has all those quarterbacks and tight ends. So like you got to drop somebody. You're not going to drop Rashee Rice. You're not dropping Jordan Addison. There's only one other player on your roster. Who are you picking? So yes, that's why I'm like, yeah, whatever. Players are going to get dropped that are good. It happens every year. Last year, JJ dropped JSN.
We picked them up.
Exactly. That's why somebody's going to drop somebody good. And when that happens, then I'll worry about swooping in then.
Yep.
All right. Last but not least, this episode has gone way longer than I predicted. Joe and I can just talk forever, I guess.
Yes, we can.
And this is going to just be a quick touch on just helpful things for our league. Remember, with trades, they are fun.
Mm-hmm.
They are supposed to be fair. That is the hardest thing, I think, for people to understand. You should be helping each other. But the other thing is, if you're reaching out to somebody, most trades get denied because you come in with an offer that sucks. Just text your league mates on who you're interested in. If you're interested on Ryan's fourth quarterback or third quarterback or whoever the heck you're interested in, ask him, hey, is this player available?
Mm-hmm.
And what is the roster position you're looking for? I am strong at X, Y, or Z.
Yep.
He might say, I want a running back. And you go, I thought you were weak at wide receiver. But if you're looking for a running back, fantastic. Here's the running backs I have available that I think are fair.
Yep.
It is not about just offering blindly and hoping it gets taken. JJ is the perfect example of doing that last year. He sent messages and his trades started to be accepted. And last year, I remember telling him, JJ, you cannot send blind offers. People hate that because it's annoying. I don't know what you actually want. And most of the time, your offers are going to suck because most players are trying to win trades. I have never looked at a trade in the eyes of trying to win. 2 years ago, when I traded for Puka Nacua, I understood I was trading for a keeper. I wasn't trading for that player to help my team instantly. Yep. So Puka was already hurt, or I don't remember exactly. And I took him and I said, yeah, JJ, here you go. Last year, I kind of did the same thing, right? Like, what can I do to make this roster a little bit better?
Yep.
So I was constantly trying to trade to get a little bit better. Trades are an important part of fantasy. I do want to start talking about trying to get the league to do trades and include their fab. If you need to do fab in a trade, we can do that.
Yep.
You just have to tell me, because I, as the commissioner, have to go in and take fab off of somebody else's team and put it on player of the other person's team. If we make trades in our league with fab dollars, just send it in the group chat and I will make sure we are good. But make sure everybody's aware of it.
Yep. Because perfect example, we did that a few years ago with Tyler. We offered him a trade because I forget which running back he had, and we had his handcuff and his starting running back got hurt. We offered him a trade for the player and some fab for a starting player position that he had, and that's how we did it. I think we gave him like $20 or something like that.
Yeah, like fab is a tradable asset and it should be used as such. It's work on my part, but if it makes the league better, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
I just need to know.
I mean, you can't leave this year with the fab, so you might as well use it in some way.
Right. All right, guys. Joe, thank you for joining.
Anytime.
That is really all I have for today. As we have here, see you after week 2. Hoping to get somebody else on here, talk a little bit. If not, I'll just keep bringing Joe back, and you guys can keep listening to Joe, and maybe JJ will join or Aaron, who knows? But, appreciate you all. have a worse week 2 than me, especially Robert. The rest of you, I don't really care. Have a good one, y'all.
Have a good one, everyone.